What do you think of the score?
I think it was a beautiful goal by Asivar to Olympica.
Welcome
to CLTFC Fan TV, live 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Wednesday night on YouTube. Our special guest tonight, Mrs. Carol Walton of the Charlotte Ledger, writes Football Friday Weekly. Check that out. She's also on the Charlotte FC beat. And then diagonally down from me is Jorge, who I'm so excited to watch Honduras play some football in Bank of America Stadium for the one price for both games. I love it. I want to be with you sometime during that game. Jorge of Top Ben 90. And of course, my partner in crime, not anymore, but just in this, Lee.
What's up, man? What are you showing us, Jorge?
the Honduran flag.
Oh, there we go. Now it's in. It wasn't in focus, man. It wasn't.
Yeah.
I know, it looked more like just a really bright phone all up in our face with some stars somewhere.
And shout out to Esteban. Yeah.
Welcome all.
Hey, welcome. All right, so let's get
Right.
going, man. Let's get this thing cranking.
I got my numbers. So if we
Do
ever
you?
get a little slow,
So Lucas joined the show about 4 hours ago. Oh, I guess he's not making it. So yeah, like he says, this is the best fan TV show on the internet. So love to him. Damn it, that's it. So man, all kinds of stuff. First, let's talk about the U.S. coming to Charlotte, the bank. Some other teams are showing up too. I don't think they're very important, really, right?
Come on, bro.
Hey.
The biggest Honduras, bro. All day, bro. 5 estrellas, garra catracha. Come on.
See. Yeah, man. So that's gonna be fun. Tickets went on sale today, I believe. Was it for the general public or is it just for season ticket holders?
Just season ticket holders today. I think PSL owners tomorrow, and then they go live next Tuesday.
Yeah.
How much are they?
Oh, so behind the goal, I think the tickets were, I think mine like $70, including $30 of that was Ticketmaster fees.
Dang.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Ticketmaster is a whole different thing, man.
It is. But you know, the other thought of that too, though, is it's 2 games, right? You get the U.S. game, and then who does Honduras play?
We play Haiti, bro.
Yeah, so it's the U.S. game and the Haiti game.
Yes.
Well, I tell you what, man. Anyone that's going to be doing it all day and double hitter into the Honduras Haiti game, oh man, it's going to be an interesting scene late night at old Bank of America Stadium on that night.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. I've never seen the U.S. play in person, so I'm just wondering if I should wear my England kit or if I'm going to get.
Oh, you're a U.S. citizen now.
Oh, right.
I know.
I need to hear you say y'all more sweet tea.
Sweet tea. I don't drink sweet tea, man. Yeah, them damn Yankees done messed up the tea, man. So it's all hot tea. So the upper bowl, it is open, but it seems to be only like mid-sections right now. I'm not sure if they plan on opening up anymore. So, and Esteban says Honduras plays with a square foot.
Yo, Esteban is Honduran, so I don't even know why he's giving.
Maybe he's just talking.
Well, then he knows what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah. So anyway, so yeah, that's gonna be fun. Then we got with some news was breaking today. Not sure how true it is. I mean, but Fan TV being on the beat, we broke it about 2 years ago. Just letting you know about future players coming to Charlotte. Old Jackie boy there. What did we agree on his last name was?
Burn.
Keith can't handle sweet tea. That is true. It was, anyways, I'm not going to get off subject. Byrne, yes, Jack Byrne. And Carol is having some technical difficulties. She's going to bounce in and out. But yeah, man, what do we think about this guy? Are we happy? Are we confused? Does he add to what we don't have?
Time out for a second. What's the actual news?
Well, there's a breaking news. Well, if it was breaking news, there was a couple of articles today that reported that we put a bid in for him. Seems to be about a 6-figure bid, and that he's Irish fella, and that's all we know right now. And he followed us on Twitter last week, and you know, he's also following the club on Instagram and all that other stuff. So
yeah, so definitely a player. I would say more of an 8, good passer. It seems like. I think honestly, it just points to it looks like there may be some shakeups in that midfield, right? I could definitely see, like, from the perspective of everyone as well. Like, I mean, like, we definitely need more reinforcements in the back line from what we've seen.
I mean, that's what Bridget says, right? I mean, it's kind of weird. I think what the window closes on the 24th, right?
Something
Monday. Monday it closes. So, but it's interesting because Carujo's off getting his green card. So, I mean, it does open up an international slot for us, right?
Right.
And so, but if they're paying him over six figures, that doesn't mean he's a DP.
No, they bid.
On the international slot and be whatever.
They'll bid for it, so they're gonna have to buy him off the club he's at now.
Yeah,
But he still wouldn't be a DP.
I guess it depends on. What's that?
No,
What'd you say?
he's not coming in as a DP if he comes in.
But he could still make that high level because he's bought out from the contract where he's making that amount of money already. Where
I mean, like if they bid for him like $4 million, yes.
Yeah, then you do.
Yeah.
Okay. I know you're really in the weeds with all that stuff with MLS and all
Yeah,
that.
so a lot of people are asking, right? I mean, the news. Do we call it news? I don't know, right? Rumors maybe is a better word. You know, a lot of people are like, "What's going on with the back line? What's going on the back line?" I mean, does it mean we're shipping out, you know, some players too, right? So, but yeah, I mean, I'm kind of agree with Alex here, right? I mean, we desperately need someone who can link play and keep the ball in tight spaces. I mean, his video clips and all the video clips are always good, right? So, I mean, he looks half decent. Actually, shoots outside the box, and so
Yeah, but I'm not gonna get excited with any new signings so far. You know, I need to see how they play in this team, right? Because I think one of the biggest issues that we have is style of play versus personnel of who we have available, right?
yeah.
So I mean, I'm gonna reserve my thoughts.
So you're talking about when you say personnel, are you talking about like attitude or what?
No, I'm talking about the players that we have versus
Oh, yeah.
how we want to play.
I mean, what's up with Andre and Nuno, right? Nuno, I know, is at Legacy now, right? He's there for.
Dang, bro, I didn't know that.
Is he not at Crown Legacy? I thought he got dropped down.
I think he trained with Crown
Oh,
Legacy.
trained. Maybe that's what I'm thinking. I don't know, dude. I read so much and it gets so confusing and keeping up with like what's going on half the time. I should maybe take notes. That would be a good idea, right?
No. Just
Well, I mean,
Just wing it.
after the Toronto game, right? I mean, he got dropped, right?
Yeah.
You didn't see him the next game, which was Real Salt Lake, and then he wasn't even benched this weekend. And when I asked Latanzio about it, he gave us a very stern answer. So it doesn't seem like I don't think it's a player that Latanzio counts on as much, right? I think like a lot of these players that don't do enough defensively or don't cover as much as Latanzio wants in the type of system he plays, if they're a playmaker, they really have to make a difference with those technical abilities for him to consistently give him minutes, is what it seems like.
Yeah, but wasn't Latanzio and old Jackie Boy there? They were together when he was at City, I believe.
Who, Nuno?
No, sorry, I'm still talking about Jack, man. I don't know. Y'all carry on. I'm just gonna sit over here and drink my water.
All right. I'll pick it up from there. I'll pick it up. Hey, Carol, welcome back. Can Jorge or Carol, can you enlighten anyone on why we haven't seen Shinashiki? Where is he? I mean, I feel like now that Jaws is in the starting lineup, then now Shinashiki's been kicked down to like third string. He might not even come in, subbing in.
If you look back, right, through Shinyashiki at Charlotte FC, he hasn't been a guaranteed starter, right? I mean, honestly, I don't even know what his best position would be in the type of style that we want to play. If we're playing a 4-3-3, right, we've seen him on the wing, we've seen him as striker, but to me, he's a good player, but not somebody that I would consistently start, right? So, I mean, a good sub off the bench, right? And so, we'll see. It sounds like, by the way, Latanzio talked about him and Nuno. It seems that they're out of favor with, out of favor in being with the 23 or with the players that play week in and week out.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny, right? I mean, we joke about this all the time. I mean, Andre is definitely scoring somewhere apparently. So he's in there. And anyways. So yeah. Oh, by the way, so if you guys just joined, we are doing a giveaway again tonight. Defender Queen has been nice enough to say dealer's choice again. So anything in his collection you can get to enter that. It is hashtag FanTV, and that will enter you in, and that will get you in. And then there was some other thing. Oh yeah, new to the show, hit the sub button. All you old, and hit the like button to get that algorithm going for us too. All right.
Algorithm.
So yeah, so that answers the questions about Andre and Nuno, and we hit Jack, and
that was number 18.
Number 18. Yeah. Let's start off before we get into the game. Let's pick a number, Jorge, between 1 and 17.
17.
No, 1 and 17.
1 through 17.
Oh, y'all are so funny. All right, number 17. Are there any giveaways at this game coming up against Columbus? I feel like
Yes.
we have. What is it?
I believe it's the foam crown.
A foam crown.
Yes.
So
We
last
had
time
one
we had
stolen live on Fan TV.
You know,
That's right.
I swear the curly haired kid that young teenager that we interviewed fan reactions that come out every Tuesday. And after every game, we're outside of the East Gate with a big LED screen. Come up, talk to us. But I swear the kid with the curly hair, I think he was the kid because I did the slow mo when he stole it off that dude's head, and I'm pretty sure it was the same kid.
Oh yeah.
Maybe, who knows?
Interesting.
It might be Minty. All right, so
hashtag Fan TV and hit the sub button, like button, and all those other buttons in front of you. Yes. And I believe it was Jonathan. Was it Jonathan that got his stuff stolen? I can't remember. Anyways, to the game. Let's talk about the game. Ended 2-2. Carol, what do you think of the game? Carol says she doesn't think much about the game, so we're just going to bounce out.
She's saying a lot.
Yeah, that's right. That's all. That's it. This is actually how we feel about.
None of us can say anything more than that.
Ask me about the game.
What's that?
I want to know. I want to be asked about the game.
Hey, Jorge, what do you think about the game? No.
Oh
man, everybody's just full of it. Yep, everybody had the same.
Dude,
yep.
that was funny.
Yep. So same. Yep. Carol's having some serious technical difficulties apparently.
I mean, it's a lot of what we've seen from Charlotte in the past as well, man. A lot of possession, nothing in the final third, right? You know, we get scored on. The bright side, you know, is seeing Kerwin Vargas produce for us, right? I think the goal that he scored was a golazo, right? I love seeing those backflips that he does. And so that really brought us momentum in that second half, right? And we saw Yazviak. One of the things that I asked for at the beginning of the season was to see more production from our wingers, because that's going to be very important this season. And we're seeing it, right? Slowly but surely through Kerwin and Yazviak. But unfortunately, in true Charlotte FC fashion, Christmas FC, we give up a 2-1 win right at the last minute, you know, with a mistake from George Marks, right? And so he really put himself kind of in a predicament, right? Because, you know, you got Kalina coming back. He's saying, you know what, I don't care who's asking who number one is right now. I'm just going to do what I need to do, and the coaches will decide. And then George makes this mistake. So it's like the story writes itself, right?
Man, I feel so bad for the guy though, man, because he was doing so good. He's done so well since he's been in there, and you know, of course, there's going to get into the old debate online with who's going to start, Kalina or Marks, and the way Lattanzio has been talking, you know, saying we're missing these three key players, yada yada yada. Right? It sounds like Kalina's got his eye on Kalina already.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
You know, just listening to the fans that we interviewed too, you know, most of them are really smart fans and know that, you know, when a keeper makes a mistake, it's usually a big glaring one that could cost a game or a draw in this instance. But most of them said, no. He's been doing well enough. He's been good enough. He doesn't deserve to lose his job because of this one glaring mistake, et cetera, at the end of this game. But the question is, and this is what no one brought up, and I was wondering, even if Kalina can come back or whenever he's ready to come back, how long is it going to take him to get up to game speed, strength, whatever? But he's a keeper. It's not like he's a midfielder. But I'm just saying, even if he can come in this week, it's not like if he's been out for so long, he can't just come in and be better than Marks, I wouldn't think. So
I think one of the things too you have to take into consideration as well when you're like evaluating goalkeepers is like Kalina's made mistakes, but Kalina's almost 30, right? You know, George Marks is beginning his first season, right? So I feel like that's an important difference to make as well. So I mean, by this point, like Kalina shouldn't be making some of the mistakes he's made. So versus George is beginning. Like this is his first season in MLS, and he's done well so far.
Yeah. So this is actually a good question. Right? Do we know when his back issue originally started? Was he playing with a hurt back? Do we think, or
It was probably at the middle of the season when he was carrying the team for a little bit.
He's quick, though. He's quick.
Yes, that's the comment of the night. I can't even right now. Buzzer would have been great right there, JT. Yes. And I'm going to completely disagree with this comment because I feel like Marks is the better of the three playing with his feet. So I feel a lot more confident with him kicking the ball around than I do Kalina for sure.
I mean,
So,
Mark seems to move better, but he's smaller of stature. You know, it's like he's more springy and better with his feet and all that kind of stuff. But Kalina is just bigger and more imposing and more physical.
yes.
So I mean, I don't
Can y'all hear me? Can I chip
Yes.
in
Hey,
finally?
go ahead, chip in.
Yeah.
We've been waiting on you. Everybody's been waiting on you, Carol.
Let's
Well,
go.
Here.
It
I'm
was
so
funny.
sorry.
We asked you a question and you just disappeared. It was just like,
Brutal.
yeah, I
So
know.
great.
So
My
yeah.
desktop completely flopped, but here I am on the laptop and on wireless, and it's working. So,
yes. All right.
yay! I'm so
Yes.
sorry.
All right.
I was just going to chip in the communication factor with Kalina. I don't know, something about his relationship with the back line and getting everybody where they're supposed to be. Is there something to be said for that? That's missing right now because some of the defense has been just porous, should we say?
Porous is a good choice of words.
I think. Well,
ahead, JT.
I remember that was a big problem earlier in the season with Cisniega, was he wasn't communicating as well, and Marks seems to be a much better, on the field leader, another coach on the field watching everything. But I don't remember how Kalina, he didn't do poorly, but also he doesn't, speak the best English, so I don't know.
No, I mean, listen, I think Marks is a wonderful communicator. I mean, he's got public speaking in his future, but when you're Kalina and you bring a little bit more gravitas and a little bit more experience, you can tell somebody to get their, how do you say, ass in Croatian back, and they might listen a little better maybe. Just the experience and the leadership. I mean, I would think, Jorge, wouldn't you agree last year that he was one of the outspoken guys on the team whenever there was trouble,
Definitely. I think, Kalina's 30 now, definitely a leadership responsibility. He has to be one of those guys that's always talking to the team, right? I mean, and we saw in a couple of press conferences, I think even early in the season, we talked about we need to be better. We need to improve as a team. Right. And to be fair to him, there was a period of time last season where he was very crucial to us, got us some important points. But I think why people would like to see more of Marks is that near the end of the season, he was making some of those mistakes that kind of left that door open for people to say, you know what, maybe this isn't our number one. And mixed that in with his injury, with George coming in and performing well, brought up this debate. So I definitely think we'll definitely see Kalina back in the lineup at some point. But, I mean, when he comes back, he really has to play to that level and be that leader that I guess Latanja is asking for now. Right? Because this is one of the things that we criticize this team on. Like, I feel like there's a lack of somebody that we can look at and say, this is our captain. This is the guy that's pushing the team forward, right? I don't
we talked about that yesterday, right? Like on your show, Jorge. Top Ben 90 if you haven't found his YouTube channel yet. But basically we were talking about in regards to all the players on the team, who is the one that's going to get on their teammates' face and give them some stick and tell them get your shit together versus everybody seems pretty timid out there. That there's not, and it could be a language barrier too, but it's nobody that can really say. So I feel like that's on that pitch right now that can really just go around and just get in everybody's faces, right? Kind of like Fuchs kind of did, or maybe it's Caruso. Who knows? But still, he's out.
Lee, that's such a big point. The language barrier. I mean, how does that work with all the different languages and the different, I mean, there's nonverbal cues. You can show someone you're angry, obviously, but I'm just so curious how someone leads in the locker room and how that would work and the challenges of that on such an international roster.
I mean, Westwood was supposed to be the guy, right? But obviously he's hurt. Do we know anything else about him? When he's supposed to come back?
Yeah, I mean, I was curious to see him in training, but they're not opening training this week. So
You've been barred, huh? Girl, are you still able to go to training?
Well, I just it's a mom thing. I've got kids coming and going, so I'm not too keen on getting over there for 15 minutes of watching them. You know, I wish they would open the full thing. Wouldn't that be nice?
yeah,
Yes.
but they definitely don't want to see us looking at exactly what they're doing all training. So, but it's okay. I have a drone going out there tomorrow, so it'll say top bin 90 on it, so it won't be conspicuous.
Yeah. I mean, get a drone or something. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, let's talk about the game. Let's talk about the game, right? Obviously, Marks, we talked about the keeper, right? The mistake that happened. Obviously, that debate's going to continue on for a while. Go ahead, Roy.
Let me correct it real quickly. It's not really closed. It's just that I guess one of the comms person wasn't there this week, and like it's not that like they're cutting us off. It's just like for personnel reasons that they're not open, that they're not letting us go out there and catch the team.
It's like anything else, you know, like a certain store's not open longer because they can't get enough people to work there and whatever. And your favorite, there's always more demand for employees, is what you're saying. It even affects journalists working the Charlotte FC beat.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So sorry, I'm reading these comments too. I mean, you know, Will, I don't think his personality, I don't think strong enough, right? Meaning, you know, it seems like we have a bunch of sort of chilled players out there and nobody really, again, that I feel, and you guys chime in too, right? That just will run around and get in somebody's face when they screw up or whatever, right? I mean, I just
Bronica. What about Bronica? What about the mayor?
I mean, Bronico would probably be it, right? But I still don't think he's.
Yeah, bro.
I don't think that's his way of.
We need a president, bro. We don't need a mayor right now.
Need a president.
Ah, look at that! Look at that turn! Look at that turn!
Yeah. But the game overall, 2-2. I mean, were we happy with it? Were we happy with the way people played?
I mean, you know what? Honestly, like, it's tough to knock Latanzio when you're looking for a result when you're under pressure, right? You know, he switched to a back five, right? So if he would have gotten away with it, then you say, you know what? He got the win, 2-1. But the reality is, switching to a back five, he invited pressure from a Colorado team that really doesn't have much, right? You know, Brian Acosta, a center defensive midfielder, hit the post, right? I mean, when you've got a Honduran guy that's about to score on you, you know your team's in trouble.
Yeah. What do you think, Carol? What do you have to say about it?
Well, I mean, we kind of got into a little bit on Twitter this week, didn't we, Lee? That, you know, if they,
Yeah, I mean, it was more about the Latanzio in and out conversation, right? But go ahead. I'll let you finish.
Well, just, you know, I was thinking what Jorge was saying, that if they hold on and George doesn't make that mistake and they win 2-1, everybody's happy, you know, because it's just so results driven. But yeah, here we are heading into the third month of the season before long and no win at home. I mean, that is crazy. I get why people are upset and putting some pressure on Latanzio.
I mean, this was the first week that we scored at home too, right?
Yeah, from Charlotte FC players, yes.
Yeah, I mean, own goal always shows up. Right.
Yeah, but I mean, I think so too. I'm like, I don't mind the fan base being upset, right? Obviously, some people take it out of proportion, like they blow it up more than needs to sometimes. But to me, I think it's important. Like, I mean, that shows that the fan base cares, right? I'd rather have an angry fan base than people that just like, oh well, like, you know, like nothing happens, like there's no engagement. I mean, we're still averaging over 30,000 people at Bank of America, right?
That's because nothing else is going on Saturdays.
There's a lot going on Saturdays. Trust me.
Oh,
What you been doing on the last couple of weeks though? Every time I ask you, let's go hit the clubs or something, man, you're like,
bro,
oh,
I tore my ACL. What do you
See,
mean?
so how do you know what's going on? You're an old and washed up boy.
Because, bro, I got eyes and ears everywhere in this city, bro.
Fair enough.
more
Fair
like you
enough.
got tore.
I want to touch on this comment, right? That we haven't won a match in over a month. I mean, over the last 5 games, though, we've only lost 1, right? And so
Dang. Lee, are you getting paid by the club?
I am actually.
Oh,
Tonight's the night I was going to tell
P.S.
everybody.
Lee.
Yeah.
P.S. Lee.
Yes.
P.S. Lee.
Yes. Saturday definitely has to be it. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, we haven't lost, right? I mean, I'm just trying to devil's advocate here, right? I mean, we obviously
Sounds like you've been living in Charlotte too long. Remember the
Yeah, we haven't lost, but the reality is 1 win in 8 games is unacceptable, right?
Oh, 100%. I agree.
It
Yeah,
just,
and Jorge-
it just sucks. It just sucks. The kid at the, I forget his name, but at the beginning of our fan reactions, I put up there talking about his heart being broken into a million pieces, and then he's like, he's like every other Charlotte team, and right now is exactly it. You know, last year our first season was the only thing to hang your hat on in Charlotte about as far as the major teams. And now we're in the doldrums too, along with the Hornets and the Panthers.
And with
And it's
3
just-
points out of playoff, man. Come on. Where's the
3
positivity?
points out of playoff. Yeah,
That's what I say. Like, if you don't make playoffs this season, there better be some big conversations and some changes, because in the reality, it's not hard. Like, more than half of the teams in our conference qualify for playoffs. If you can't make the first 9 out of 15 teams, come on. Come on. You have to ask questions to the front office, the technical staff, Charlotte, because they failed to produce a team that can finish in one of the 9 spots that qualify. It's
100%.
not hard. MLS
100%.
does not make it difficult for you to make a playoff.
Yep. So, Carol, how much longer do we give Latanzio since we had our Twitter discussion?
That's a tough one. I mean, if they go winless for another 2 months, you know, we got to talk. You know,
Don't
that's
say that.
But by the same token, I'm like, are we going to change coaches every year? I mean, that's
where I get tied up, right? I mean, like, so we got an LA Galaxy fan in the house, so he knows they haven't won a game in 6 months. So I mean, it could always be worse, right? So yeah, I mean, so 2 months we give him. I don't know, man. I don't know how long I would say to give him, because again, I don't want to be that team, right, that is always changing the coach just to make a change, right? Because we still got the same players. I don't know.
Well, here's the thing. Like, I do think what he brings is, okay, you see some of these players he's bringing in, the relationships he have. I mean, you watch him with Kamil Uzwiak after he scored the other day. You know, he's got this thing going with some of the European guys and Kerwin Vargas even, you know, and so do you let him establish some of that and keep that going and really, you know, establish this identity he keeps talking about, you know? I mean, for me, if I'm taking the broader picture, the big picture look, it's surprising with all the momentum they had at the end of the last year that they didn't continue that, right? That came as a surprise to me. But by the same token, y'all, I mean, Anton Walkes died, you know, and we haven't been talking about that, but that was, to me, that's right up the gut defensive player. And, you know, that's one of our big problems right now. And they don't want to talk about it because God knows that sounds like an excuse, but I'll go ahead and say it. Between Walkes and Carujo, those were your bouncers, you know, that was your meat. That was your mean guys, get in your face. So, and when Latanzio says that those guys are missing, it sounds like an excuse, and it sounds bad on Twitter. And I get, you know, Lee, why you and your guys you're getting.
Yeah, I mean, I guess what was my point? I don't know what's going on. I need to take some memory stuff. I think dementia's starting to kick in. I had a whole thing. Screw it. I'll come back to it. Yes, but I can't.
Carol, that was a really good point.
It was a really good point, and I had a couple. Well,
let me steal some airspace while you get your wits back. I mean, last year I really felt like, remember, you know, they did pretty well to start the season, and everybody was complaining because they weren't scoring goals, but they were stopping they weren't given
And what else?
Toronto not included and some of those other games, but the defense was pretty good.
So
And for me, this team right now, the defense is where the problems are. We're
oh,
starting to see
100%.
a
There's
little
no
bit more
disputing that.
creativity, and we're seeing some guys score that we've been wanting to see. But when you can't, and here's the thing where you're missing the leader in Salt Lake when they give up 3 goals in 6 minutes. And the coach can't run out there, and it's not like basketball where they can call a timeout. And you can argue he didn't sub as fast as he should have, but that's when, if Ashley West would have been out there, I think he would have jumped in front of somebody. Or
Yeah, I think that's what we're missing for sure. But to your point about the off season, and right, I mean, yes, Latanzio did pretty good in the second half of the season, in my opinion. Right, he earned the official coaching position. Then we had preseason, and then after the preseason, there was some stuff that went on, but he sort of had a style of play he was going to play. But then I feel like come the first game, he just kind of ripped up the paper and just said, all right, I'm going to start all over again. So I don't know what happened there. It's like whatever they were trying to work out during the preseason, they just gave up on.
Yeah, I think it's important. What Austin is saying, he's right on the money.
But I ain't got
Austin Brady, a lot of the complaints also come from, you've played Byrne at center back, you've played Brandt at left back, you've thrown Swiderski at right wing, right? Some of the subs have been odd is a great word. It's a great word to say. It's odd choices, right? The timing of some of these subs, right? Even some of his comments in press conferences now, right? So, I mean, there's a lot. I think the club feels the pressure, the team feels the pressure. But one of the most important things, and Carol touched on it, right, is if you still have the locker room behind you, that buys you time as a coach. And when you see Camille run over to Latanzio and hug him after that 2-1, that lets you know that there's still players that are behind this coach, and they want to do the best they can to move this ship forward, right? So I mean, like, there's been a couple of instances. That's why he said it feels like Christmas all the time now, where Charlotte is shooting themselves in the foot. So there's been also small margins where if you pull the result, some of these conversations start changing.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, again, when Jaws scored, you saw him, right, and the way he embraced Latanzio. So yeah, you're right. The locker room is plenty, but it's like, again, how long do we give him, right? I know some people are saying, like, I would rather give it one comment, a bunch of comments, but basically saying they would rather write this season off and be a continuous playoffs team, right? But I still want us to be competitive, right? I don't want the buzz to be lost on Charlotte, because I think we've got the potential. I think Zoran needs to take a little heat too. I mean, he's the one that's kind of out there getting these players, right? I'm sure he's talking to Latanzio about it all. But I don't know. Sometimes, I mean, he was making the changes last season where we dropped to a back 5, right? And like I think Jorge said, like if it had worked this week, we would have been fine, right? Everybody would have been talking about how we won and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
the margin is what you're saying. I mean, I think about Mark's his keeper gloves, right? Their phone, they should be the no matter how wet they are, the most grippy, whatever. And if you look at the play, and I know guys coming right on him, but he's a professional, and he had it in literally in the palms of his hand. And something happened in that 1 millisecond that he does not grab it, and it falls down, and that's that. And that makes so much difference.
I think
that's what's so crazy about soccer.
Well, I mean, that's what sucks about being a goalkeeper, making a mistake too, right? If you make a mistake up front or midfield, you're definitely not going to be it's not going to show up as much as it did when Mark dropped the ball, right? Or where it fell.
But it just sucked. The whole point, like when I was standing outside the stadium and I had the light set up and I had the camera ready and the microphone and all ready to do interviews. And it was got out there, it's like 90 minutes. I'm like, hell yeah, we finally got to win. I can't wait for all these people to come out, all that energy, all this happiness. And I just hear over the loudspeaker, score Colorado in the 91. And I'm like, are you kidding me? And then you could literally feel like it just all drain out. And then everyone's coming out, Latanzio out, da, da, da. I know one thing, especially from being an NC State fan, do not get rid of the coach in the middle of the season unless something's egregious.
This ain't basketball, man. This ain't basketball. It's football.
I know.
Man.
No, let him play through the whole season.
No, sir. It's not working. Something changes. So
the hell with that. This is America.
I mean, this is a valid point right here. Taluma, man, he's made some mistakes, right? And cost us. I mean, on goal, for instance, right? What else was I gonna say?
So did Malanda. I mean, that's the weird thing, right? He's your best player back there, and he's
big,
brutal mistake.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think the difference between Taloma and Malanda is Malanda has shown us that he is a quality player. We've seen games from him where you're like, okay, like this is the best guy we have. Taloma's coming in and he's kind of like he's got to earn his stripes, and he hasn't. You know, he hasn't been good. We can't really name one game where like, yo, Taloma played well. Like maybe the first one, kind of.
Yeah. And just if you guys are just now tuning in and you want to win something or put your name in the hat, it's #FanTV. Put that in the chat and you get entered in if you hadn't already. So, anyways, yeah, I mean, this is a valid point, right? He was kind of set up to fail, right? I mean, they were taking shots and the post saved us once and one right over the bar. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, the starting 11, who would you swap out? Who would you have not started? I just don't think we have enough depth.
Who can play it up through the middle?
Well, we're still just missing that creativity piece in this team, right? You know, I mean,
Trent's comment, right? I mean, with rumors coming in, I mean, I don't think Carroll's gone. I think it's either going to be Nuno or Andre.
I don't know. I think I can see. Not saying that Carroll's leaving, but I could definitely see, and I'm not talking about Carroll in the internet Wi-Fi. I'm talking about Carroll Swiderski.
Yeah.
I'm coming with all the jokes tonight.
Yes, you're so funny, Jorge. You're so funny.
Thank you. No, I mean, I could definitely see if a club makes a bid for Carroll Swiderski this summer, a bigger club, I could definitely see the club negotiating something. That's just a feeling I have, you know, but definitely, I mean, one of the things that we're missing is that creativity piece. We hold so much possession, but we don't do anything with it, right?
We don't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
It's like we get to midfield and it's like, oh, shit, how do we get here? Let's pass it back. Those guys seem to know what's going on.
We look lost in the final third, and we get cooked in transitions, right? Counters, transitions. I mean, our fullbacks are so high up sometimes, leaving Taloma and Malanda in islands, right? And we saw it especially against Real Salt Lake, right? And so, I mean, it's things that Latanzio has to address, like tactically. What is it? Is it the personnel? Is it the style of play that you're playing? Like you have to address these issues, right? And we're not addressing them. I haven't seen a game where I'm like, we're dominating for 90 minutes. We played well.
That's what pissed me off about this game. I would have loved before the subs, just let's go out and get one more, or at least try our best, right? I mean, we scored 2 quick goals, you know, just kill off the game and then make the subs. You know, I know Latanzio.
Feed Enzo through the middle.
Well, there's that too. I mean, Enzo is definitely getting frustrated.
I know, but still, feed him through the middle. Who can be creative and bring it through the middle?
I mean, is it worth?
I don't know. The way the defense played last week, I kind of see why he wanted to button down. Oh my gosh. Get more
so I mean, is it worth trying DJ at center back again, like they did preseason?
No.
I think you have to stick with him in the midfield.
He's been one of the best things about the midfield to me. I mean, he's the guy who, I mean, I feel like the midfield is actually our biggest wild card. That's in my opinion, because if you put some defensive players out there, you lose the ability to go forward. You know, if you have, I mean, DJ and Bronico have proven to be a pretty interesting and good combination, but then you lose. I mean, even you have to put Carroll there because where else you're going to put him? And then you lose a chance to have Bender, who's showing a little promise with his offensive skills. You know what I'm saying? It's like you have to choose offense or defense.
Yeah, I personally think that like our most natural 6 in this squad is definitely Derek Jones, right? I think the battle for that 8 is going to be between Westwood and Bronico, right? I mean, Bronico gives you that ability that he's always everywhere, but I mean, Westwood is just a step up in terms of quality, right? And so that's what I think a midfield trio. If I were choosing it, it has to be Jones, either Brant or Westwood, more leaning towards Westwood, and Swiderski, right? Swiderski at that 10, that creative role, right? I think the front three that we have right now is fine. Honestly, like people are saying bench Copetti. If they do that, I wouldn't mind seeing Melo get a start for one game, right?
Is Enzo holding us back?
I don't think he's holding us back, right? I just don't think he's had enough service. Obviously, I think the last couple of games he hasn't been great, right? But also you have to see what he's playing with, what we're doing, right? And like I said, he's not getting enough service. The guy off the ball plays really well as well. So that's the side of the game that a lot of people don't see, right? And so one of the reasons that Lattanzio brought him into the squad is because of that intensity.
Yeah. He's intense. A lot of people complain about him still taking the falls and playing that style. The question is, if he gets benched, is he going to go crazy on the bench? Is he going to flip out, or is he going to slow it down? How would he react coming up and then getting benched? I wonder.
Yeah, I mean, I think we all agree on this, right? Nobody has the ability to pass the ball down the middle. I mean, I wouldn't even mind if they just like chipped it over the top or something, tried to just stretch the other team,
But then you also have
other than the wings.
Like, one of the things you have to think too about, like South American players are kind of like that, but also I feel like you have to be smarter with the style of like people complain about how like he's talking to everybody, like he's like in everybody's faces, or like he complains more than he plays, right? And I'm like, you had a perfect opportunity this weekend. Colorado center back got a yellow in the first 5 minutes. Press there, continue to create trouble there, right? There, he's already limited because 5-6 minutes into the game, you have a yellow card, right? So this is like the stuff where you got to be smart about how you go about your game.
Yeah, I mean,
well said, Jorge.
Kind words, Casey. I mean, it's true. I just don't think we have enough depth. I think that's a lot of our issue too. At least, I mean, I'm not using that as an excuse, right? I mean, to me, we've been playing boring, slow football for a while now, and it just drives me insane. When we decide to play quicker, we seem to score. I mean, and if we shoot outside the box too, it's amazing.
Can we do that for full 90 minutes?
Yeah,
that's the thing. I don't think we've and this is a cliche or whatever, but still we haven't played a complete game.
I feel like y'all early in the season, for some reason, we get down into the final third and the wrong guy would have the ball. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It would be Bronico, no offense, but not the strongest shooter. It would be Nathan Byrne. It would be sometimes Jalen Lindsay. And I feel like now at least we've got the right guys. We got Vargas, and Enzo not really lately, but I'm happy to see Vargas taking some long shots. Let's go ahead and shoot. And make somebody make a mistake.
I've been screaming that for 3 or 4 months. Just shoot the damn ball already, man. I don't care if it goes over, if the keeper just catches it, just shoot the damn ball. Anything could happen.
Yeah, we see that with Vargas, right? I mean,
he's scoring, and he's lighting, and he's bringing the energy, and he's making Charlotte seem.
But I think another player that we need to give more credit to, especially recently, is Kamil Yazviak.
100%.
Right? I mean, one of the things that we mentioned, I know I mentioned before, right? If you're a DP player, you have to make a difference through goal contributions and assists, especially if you're a DP up top, right? Right. That's where we spend heavy, right? We've got a U22 in Vargas, we have a DP striker in Enzo, and we have a DP winger in Yazviak, right? So, I mean, theoretically, these are the players that have to produce.
And I love the whole Polish connection now, going back to the whole communication and how much, friends they truly are. But the way Swiderski assisted on that, and that beautiful chip straight to Jaws's head. I mean, it was just perfect. And you feel like they're almost, that almost looked like, sorry, Lee, going back to basketball, that almost looked like an alley-oop. I mean, the way it came in, he's like, "Badoom," those sweet, a spike of the volleyball. How about a volleyball analogy, Lee?
A volleyball, yes, a volleyball analogy. That would be. You can use volleyball. What kind of volleyball though? Like beach volleyball or like gym volleyball? I guess it's the same game. Right?
I guess so.
So, geez, man, comments are going crazy tonight. It's hard to kind of make sure I put the comments up there in line with what we're talking about. But keep posting them for sure. And if you're new to the show, hit the sub button for us. And all you OGs out there, hit the like button, and we appreciate that. And hit the pound or type in pound fan TV. Want to win something for my friend at Defend the Queen. All right. So, do we talk about the game, or do we feel like we talked enough about last week's game?
I think we talked enough about the team based on last week's game. We definitely dove into it. Yeah, let's get to Columbus, man. Let's move
Hold on,
forward.
before we get to Columbus,
Let's move forward.
let's pick a number, man. Let's pick a number. We've only won one game this season, so I'm going to go with 1. Oh, Carol, I tell you what, let Carol pick a number since she's new to the show.
4.
4. We've already talked about that. When keepers make a mistake, it shows up much more than other mistakes. Another number, Carol.
9.
Oh yeah, you remember in Lee in the fan reactions
This weekend?
The one that we just.
I don't remember too much. I had to watch it.
Whatever, but the video we put out yesterday, there was the one young gentleman who said he loved Derrick Jones. I love you, Derrick Jones. I love you, Derrick Jones.
Oh yeah, he sure
But
did.
why was he such a huge fan of Derrick Jones?
Because I know why. Because Derrick Jones is a Spurs fan. Bam. You're welcome, folks.
No, that wasn't.
That's a true statement.
No wonder we're frustrated.
Carol, what do you think about Derrick Jones' play on this last game? Because that's what I was getting from this 13-year-old.
I mean, I just think he possesses the ball in the midfield, and that's what they need. And when he doesn't do anything flashy, but when he's not out there, you notice there's a lot more turnovers and counterattacks. So, and sometimes he's sneaky good. You're like, whoa, did he just make that move? I mean, I don't think he's something you can really explain why. I mean, I personally,
I feel confident with him in there. It's just the rest of the players around him I don't feel confident.
But I'm with Jorge. I think Westwood takes Bronico's spot and DJ stays in, then Carroll. And part of me's like, I wonder if that's why Latanzio was even thinking about putting Bronico at left back.
Is he scared to drop Bronico?
Well, I mean, he brings value because he's your workhorse. He's a guy who lifts spirits and all. But
I mean, he definitely has that Latanzio type of style, right? Where like he's aggressive, he's gonna contribute defensively, right? I mean, that's why a lot of the season, like when people were complaining at Yazviak, why does he continue to start? It's because he tracks back and he helps out in the defending, right? So that was something that's important to Latanzio in the style of play he wants. So
I think we learned though there's a different kind of defense in the emergency zone, than midfield when you're intercepting passes and doing stuff like that. So for sure. So let's move on to the Columbus game. I'm not feeling confident. Some people are saying it's a trap game for them. What do we think? What do you think?
It would make sense.
Listen, Columbus is coming in here hot, right? I mean, a team 4 games unbeaten. They destroyed Atlanta a couple of weeks ago, 6-1. They've got guys like Zelarayan, MLS Gone Wild added me today that Cucho is likely going to be back for that game. So, I mean, everything that we don't have going right, they definitely do.
But I mean, like you said last season, though, right? I mean, we're in the same spot they were.
Yeah, right. Yeah, definitely. He said that, but I think the beauty about this league is it's the MLS, and anything can happen, right? And I think it doesn't take a lot to turn things around, right? You have a convincing win against Columbus Crew, right? A team that's in form, right? All of a sudden, your players gain confidence. You look like you're closer into a playoff spot, right? You go into DC on a positive note. So this is a perfect game. And if you can get the bank on your side with a goal, when we like what we saw after Kerwin Vargas, that becomes a tougher place to play. And a lot of these players played in that environment last year, and they saw what that was. If we had 10 more minutes in that game, we would have turned it around, right? So there's a couple of factors that can go our way, and hopefully we do. Hopefully we're more like the Grinch than Christmas.
Well, maybe you catch him sleeping just a little bit, because you remember in that game last year we had a wacky lineup because of the rules. You know, they were used from
it started at
maybe
minute 17. It started like we couldn't use any of our new players, right? We had players that were injured, so
yeah, I
So
mean,
maybe-
it'd be a good 3 points if we do win. I just don't see it happening. With that being said, y'all can go ahead and drop your score predictions in the chat there, and we'll see. Harold, what do you think the score is going to be this weekend?
Oh God. 2-2. Why not?
2-2. I see. Yeah. Who scores for us?
Man, I'm not really feeling Enzo right now, so I'll say Vargas and yeah, what the heck? I'll say Enzo. Let's fire him up. And watch him not even start, but I'll go ahead and give him a goal.
All right, that's it. That's it. JT, what do you think? What do you think of the score?
2-1 us. Jaws and Swiderski.
Jorge.
3-1 Charlotte FC. A goal from Vargas again. Swiderski will get on goal as well, and we'll see I'll say Tolomo will score off of a set piece. So, we'll see that, and then Columbus will get a goal because George is gonna hit the ball and it's gonna bounce off the back of Enzo and go into the goal.
Yeah, there it is. That's pretty impressive if you get that right.
Very creative.
Yeah, I think we're gonna lose 2-1, and I think it's gonna be Vargas. It's either Vargas or Jaws that scores. I'll tell you what, I'll give it to Carroll. See if he can score for us. So, but yeah. So, all right, man. I know the U.S. game's coming up at 10, so trying to cut this down. But if you want to enter one last time, hashtag FanTV. Let's go. There was some starred comments I want to see. Yeah, I mean, those folks this weekend that were throwing the beer and all that kind of stuff. The way y'all were doing it was just wrong, man. You don't dump the whole cup in front of the people in front of you. That's just tacky and ridiculous opinion. Do we think Jan is leaving this season at the end of the season or staying at Legacy?
I think so. All the signs are there. You know what I'm
He's
saying?
leaving?
I mean, I can't confirm that.
No, I know that. I mean,
all
I'm
the
just trying to
signs are
understand what
there.
you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, you're paying a player $300,000 a year, right, to play in your second team.
Does he have a green card?
I think yes, he does.
Okay. Yep. And Harold, you're being asked if you want to be the coach when Latanzio gets sacked.
Heck no.
It's a lot of pressure.
I couldn't handle the Twitter pressure. I'd jump in and say something inappropriate, clearly.
Yep. Yeah. And was Enzo a beneficiary of a counterattacking team, or did Racing use slow build up like we do? To be honest with you, I've really never seen Racing play. So, Jorge, do you know that one?
Yeah, me neither. I mean, from what I don't know.
Yeah, they play as slow as we do.
Are y'all talking about NASCAR? When you say racing, you're talking about NASCAR, right?
That's right, down in Argentina. Yeah.
Argentina,
And this is kind of
NASCAR.
interesting, man. Should Enzo drop back and we put Swiderski?
No, stop no experiments, bro.
No more experiments.
Yeah.
No more experience. And Casey, hit me up offline, man. I'll give you all the stadium tips you need for the greatest stadium in the world. I like to call it Mecca Lane. So, yes. So with that being said, hopefully you guys got all that in. Jason fed him. There we go. Left and right. Had the opposite problem. So, all right. So let me do this. Hashtag FanTV.
Is it supposed to rain on Saturday?
80% chance as of 6 o'clock news.
80% chance in the morning, or
We got to hit up our boy Steve Monday. See what he says.
All right, here we go, folks. Here we go, folks.
Let's
Good
go.
luck.
Rigged.
rigged. And the winner is
Owen,
Owen.
congratulations, my guy.
Hey, bro, he needed that dub because he's got Chelsea players on the.
He sure does. Yeah, I know, man. I know, right? So, yeah. So reach out to Defend the Queen, and he'll get with you, and you guys can figure that out. And if you need anything, just let us know. So, yeah. With that being said, if Carol, man, I'm sorry, Carol, our newest guest. Thank you for coming on. I know. I feel like our banter back and forth on Twitter was respectful.
Absolutely.
So,
I mean, Lee, I've been wanting to speak to you since like leaving the stadium, with fans and seeing you with the bright lights and everything. I'm like, hey, I want to talk to Lee. So I got to do it
come
tonight.
say hello. Come say hello.
Why not?
Yeah.
Hey, if you like Carowinds, we'll give you a fast pass. If you're on our show, you get a fast pass. You can come straight to the front of the line.
That's it. That's right. Hey, we appreciate y'all, man. And again, if you could just hit that sub button for us or the like button, we really appreciate that. So, Carol, where can people find you if they want to follow you and read your articles and that kind of stuff?
They can come to the charlotteledger.com. I have a weekly newsletter. It comes out Friday morning at 11:30 called Football Friday. And I'm on Twitter at Carol with 2 R's and 2 L's. Rogers, my maiden name, Rogers. Thanks, y'all, for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yes, ma'am. It was fun. I'm glad you got the technicality sorted out there. We'll have you back for sure. Yep. Jorge, if people don't already know, where can they find you, man?
They can find me at Legion's Brewery tomorrow, at the club Friday, at the stadium Saturday. No, I'm just kidding. At Top Bin 90 on all the socials, Real Top Bin 90 on TikTok.
That's it. And JT, man, where can people find us?
At CLTFC Fan TV on Twitter, and CLTFC Fan TV on YouTube, and CLT whatever Fan TV, FC Fan TV on Instagram. And outside of the East Gate after every home game and walking around, I usually have a cowboy hat on during the game, say what's up. Can't wait to see y'all out there on Saturday, rain or shine. Thanks for tuning in tonight.
We got merch dropping soon, too. I know people keep asking.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We got merch dropping soon, too. I know people keep asking.
Snap. All right.
Hey.
Anyway, CLTFC Fan TV for the fans, by the fans.
Damn it.